How you doing, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? That's all of my followers, all of my new sign-on followers and subscribers. Welcome to my YouTube. Welcome to my YouTube media. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have each and every one of you following me for the injustice thing that goes on around here in Richmond County, North Carolina. Things like that been going on around here for a long time. But I want to say something to y'all, man. People have told me that I should, run for sheriff. I ask y'all, man. I know. I mean, it just been coming on me here lately that people say, "Hey, you ought to run for sheriff. Why don't you run for the job?" I haven't never thought about nothing like that. I'm just be honest with y'all, but I'm just telling y'all what some people have said to me. And it was just amazing that anybody would even say something like that to me. Because being the sheriff, I know if it was possible that I was the sheriff here in Richmond County, y'all already know. If I was the sheriff here in Richmond County, y'all already know. You hear me? I'm gonna restructure that sheriff department, the whole sheriff department. You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna work and respect our community and our citizens of this county, protect our citizens of this county without prejudice, without your own vendetta, because when you put on this sheriff uniform and you go out, you represent me. You represent what I stand for. And I stand for the representative of this community to protect and serve and not to be biased against no one. That's what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? So, boy, it'll be an overhaul job for that sheriff department if I were the sheriff. You hear me? A whole overall, you know. So that's just what I would do. Change. Can you say change? Change. But that's what I'd be about, change. You know. But we're moving on to some other stuff. Y'all know I told y'all gonna come to y'all later with some stuff concerning what happened to me in court yesterday concerning the prejudiced judge, that made things happen. But you know what I'm saying? I decided not to come forward with that paperwork because I got it. I decided to go other ways. But I will tell a lot of y'all this. Those papers that I turned in, it's a tall guy out there that runs between the judge. I have gave him paperwork for the judge to sign. He said that he would call me whenever the judge signed so I could pick it up. Never got a call. And that's on the fourth floor now. It's a little short white woman. I gave her paperwork. She's supposed to call me when the paperwork is signed. See, y'all don't never know who putting their hands against you, but I'm gonna tell you something. Members of that clerk house up there has been doing me wrong too behind curtains. Because they the one handling the paperwork. They the one that's supposed to take that paperwork to the judge for the judge to sign. So, I'm not pointing a certain finger, but I will do this. The guy didn't call me, the tall guy in that courthouse that goes between judges, said that Mr. Wall will call you as soon as the judge signed the paper. Never got it signed, so therefore, it never got signed. All the contempts I had against my ex-wife never got signed by nobody, by no judge. So either they deliberately not take it to the judge for the judge to sign, or the judge decided not to sign. So I'm gonna go both ways with it, or maybe all the same. The judge said I'm not gonna sign, but I'm gonna take his rights away. Same judge signed the paper for DSS to come in my house. Same judge signed the paper to take my children away from me. This is the same judge. So, hey, Judge Crawford, But it's somebody higher than me that's gonna deal with her. I let the Lord deal with all that because you know what I'm saying. Everybody that's wrong me not getting away. You might get away from man, and you might get away from man and lose men, but you don't even lose me. But you're not gonna lose God, none of you. So I'm gonna have to leave that alone because y'all wrong me. Y'all know what y'all did to me up there at that courthouse because y'all knew I knew what I was doing, and I brought those papers up there and I filed those papers with the clerk. And I came to y'all to get the judge's signature that I could serve her lawyer and her for a court date. But see, y'all didn't never call me. Y'all never did. And y'all know who I'm talking to up there at that courthouse. Y'all know who exactly. Y'all know everyone up there that did me wrong know who I'm talking to. And y'all knew, everybody that knew it, I've run around with these contempts for over a year, y'all. And never got a judge to sign no paper for me to get a court date. And you know what? That's why all of the cases got the contempt charges against my ex-wife got dismissed. All because I didn't get a judge's signature on the paperwork for the other party to come to court. So if that tell y'all anything, don't think it's just the sheriff department. Just like Barnell said, wickedness in the sheriff department, wickedness in the courthouse, wickedness with the judge, and in my case, wickedness with the district attorney. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of from the magistrate, from the sheriff to the magistrate to the clerk of courts to the judge, the local judges here to the DA's office. If y'all think them people ain't tied together and wicked and drop something on you and turn you around, buddy, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you better think again. You better think again. When you wondering why this stuff is coming against y'all the way it does, you better think who pulling their hand behind closed doors that you think not of. But see, I know who them wicked ones up there pulling their hands on me. I know who they is. That's why I don't got no. That's why when stuff happen, stuff go down. You know, I'm right there because I know it. You know, and I know who it is. And I just want to let y'all know who it is too. I just want to let y'all know that just because y'all think y'all got by the sheriff department, you got the DA's off, you got the wicked judges up there that's looking at you. You know, even the attorneys. Some of the attorneys. So I'm gonna just tell y'all to beware. Beware of the wicked because it ain't only in that sheriff department now. I just want y'all to know that. I just want y'all to know that wickedness, it starts at that magistrate, sheriff department, and goes right on to that courthouse. The clerk of court, you know, the judge, the people that's in charge of distributing the paperwork. Your paperwork come up missing or not filed. You know, I'm telling y'all, you know, pay attention. Pay close attention to the signatures on y'all paperwork. That'll tell you a lot. That will tell you a lot. Now, moving on to some other things. Like I said, y'all, I'm going to let that go. I ain't gonna let it go, but I'm not going to bring it, like I told y'all, I was going to bring it yesterday. And the day is December the 17th, 2019. So I told y'all I was going to bring y'all some more stuff, but I decided to hold on, okay? Because there's some other people that's going to want to take a look at this stuff first. And, you know, and I'm going to just let it go under the table. That's what I'm going to do. Because everybody know they hurt me, you know. One day, you know, in this lifetime, the legality of it they're gonna have to answer up to the legality of it. So I'm gonna let that fall in place all on its own, okay? But I just want to tell y'all to beware, sheriff department members, beware magistrates up there. You know, how is the magistrate gonna tell you they won't let you take out a warrant when that's your constitutional right? How are they gonna tell you to break the laws of this country, the laws of this nation, and tell you that you can't take out a warrant on somebody? Now you tell me how. I know a lot of y'all have been to the magistrate down there and did the same way. You know what I'm saying? And they sit there and tell you they ain't gonna let you take out no warrant. That's why we got judges. Judge determines the relevance of your charges that's against you, not no doggone magistrate. The magistrate their job is to sit there when you come in there they want to take out a warrant on somebody. You're supposed to be able to do it. You're a citizen. So they take your citizenship away when they sit there and tell you you can't do that. And that's your constitutional right. So like I said, you know, but moving on to some other things. Y'all know we rallied out there, had a protest Saturday, which was the 14th of December 2019. And then we had a what they call that, press release yesterday, December the 16th, 2019, and it was awesome, man. You know, Mr. Bernard was there, people from Charlotte, but like I said, I want to iterate to y'all about, this happened to a citizen that's that doesn't live here in Richmond County. That's, you know, so, but I just want y'all to know we are the citizens that live here in Richmond County should be protected by the sheriff department and treated with respect by the sheriff department. You know what I'm saying? So, and now this is just what I heard now. I'm going to say this just what I heard now because I wasn't at the NAACP meetings, but the people that came back that relayed information to me, I don't know I can't say how true it is or how negative it is. I can't see either or. I'm going to say what was relayed to me. I said Clemens was at that NAACP meeting, and Clemens was asked a question concerning with the what he gonna do with his sheriff officers that violated his guy's rights and falsely arrested him. So from what they relayed to me, that Clemens said that he was directly asked the question and said, and what was relayed to me was that Clemens said, I'll stand behind my deputy. I quote, I stand behind my deputy. So I don't know what that means to y'all by Clemens, the sheriff of Richmond County, saying that if he said it. I don't know if he said it, I don't know if he didn't say it. I'm just going by what relayed to me. That was relayed back to me about what he said, you know. But I would say this. If he did say it, and like I tell y'all, I don't know if he said it or not. But if he did say it, that he stand behind his deputy, so you gonna tell me you gonna stand behind your deputy when you know that your deputy was wrong? More inside the deputy that initiated it, you had the other deputy that fell in line and followed right behind him. And you gonna sit there and say you gonna stand, if you said it now, you gonna sit there and say you stand for your deputy that wronged another citizen? Well, I would say this. If you did indeed say that, it's time for your job to change. You know, I would, you know, well, let me not talk about that no more. Let me talk on some other things that'll help y'all out with this a little bit. I have went to the sheriff myself, you know, and respectively, I went to him with complaints about his sheriff officers because they think they know the law, but they use and they contradict the law as to define it to fit them, you know, and define it not to fit you. You know, that's what they do. I went to that sheriff department, you know, the officers assisted my ex-wife to break into my house while they was here. And then my ex-wife came back a second time when they wasn't with her and broke in my house again. Got an eyewitness to that. Called the police again. Called the police the second time. And when I called them the second time, when she broke in my house, when I had an eyewitness that watched her break in, watched her leave, the whole 9 yards. I called the sheriff department. And you know what they signed out here? I'm going to tell you first of all what they signed out here. They signed a sheriff officer, well, let me put it this way, a dog pound sheriff's officer to my house to investigate a breaking in entering. You know them sheriff that run around in the F-150 that got the dog thing on the back of the truck that catches dogs? That's who they sent to my house. The investigator breaking in of my ex-wife. That's who they signed. And then they didn't send but one officer. You know, but they come against me, they send 5, 6, 7 sheriff calls. And those of you that know me, y'all know that's what they do. But when I called them for their assistance and breaking into my house, they come out, they sign a dog pound sheriff out here to my house. A dog pound sheriff that's got the cage and all on the back of his truck. That's who they sign out here. If that tell y'all anything, so I went to Sheriff Clemens again. I said, Sheriff, you know, I told him, hey, man, you know, what's going on? What y'all gonna do about this, man? Well, you need to talk to this officer. You need to talk to the district attorney's office. Then finally, after some time had them passed, maybe 2 weeks or so, maybe a month. I'm concerned. I want to know what they doing about this. I told him I got an eyewitness that saw my ex-wife come in the house. I got an eyewitness that watched her leave and everything. Eyewitness now, a eyewitness watched this woman break into my house and left and everything. And the sheriff, you know what they told me? The officer, the investigating officer, which I think his name was McQueen, if I'm not mistaken. The investigating officer said, well, look at Mr. Wall. DA's office said they're not going to pursue charges against your wife. That's what they told me. That's what the sheriff called back and told me. Said, look, the DA's office said they're not going to pursue charges against your wife. Now, here what they excused the first time when she broke into my house. Why they was present. Well, she was living there, and by law, it was her resident. How's it her resident when she abandoned her and left? Tell me how's it her resident? She abandoned the home that she stayed in and left. Tell me now, after she do that, how's it her resident? So that's the story they gave me the first time. The second time she broke in without the sheriff being with her, we're not going to pursue no charges on your wife. That's what they told me. Trespassing against my property. Well, we didn't really get on your property. Look, where I stay at ain't but 2 houses back where I stay at. And so when you come around that dirt road and you come around a barn, you on my property. So the sheriff gonna sit there and tell the deputy gonna sit there and say, well, we weren't on your property and she got the kids. You know what? My family member told me exactly how, and then lied. Even the sheriff's officer told a lie to my family member. Said they had a court order to pick my children up. My ex-wife said she had a court order, and the deputies agreed with her and said, yes, she got a court order to pick her children up. And you know, I'm gonna tell y'all what that was. A big lie. A big lie. I went to our sheriff, Mr. Clemens, about that. Mr. Clemens didn't do nothing about it. Now, when I got locked, and that was when I had got locked up now. That's when I had got locked up. So they come, the sheriff, sister Hun came to my house and got my children from my family member. Now, months later, the same situation happened. She got locked up. And my child was at somebody else's house. Somebody else's house that's not no kin to her or nothing. And I called upon the sheriff department. Hey, go get my child. At first, y'all heard the video. At first, they claimed they didn't know where she was, where my child was. The mother wouldn't give her address. So I found out where my child was. And when I found out where my child was, I called them up again. I said, hey, my child is over here with the Ellaby people. Y'all need to go get my child. You know, because the mother locked up and she ain't got no say-so. The same thing James Clement told me. I didn't have no say-so when I got locked up. So the same thing applied to her when she got locked up. But you know what the difference was? They applied the law to me, but then they applied to her. The same exact law. They said I lost my rights when I got locked up. So I guess my ex-wife didn't lose her right when she got locked up, because now the law done changed. Within these months in the same year, the law done changed. Well, the law done changed and we can't do that. What do you mean? It's just a few months down the road there you did it for my ex-wife. And then now she locked up, and you're going to tell me you can't do the same thing for me? To go get my child from a stranger's house? The daddy that's got primary custody? You know, tell you how I went to Clemens about that. Clemens told me, he said, look, now the first time, he told me that I lost my right. Now this is the second time while she locked up. Now I went to him. I said, now, Mr. Clemens, now you sure didn't go get my children my child like I asked him to, then he gonna tell me, well, the law changed. Now he tells me the same exact thing his deputy told me now. What do you mean the law changed? So a couple of months ago, the law was you go get my child, but now, a couple of months later, the law changed where you can't go get my child from a stranger's house, and I'm the daddy that's got primary custody. That's what Mr. James Clemens told me, y'all. So if that tell y'all anything, I'm gonna say this. If it's true what Mr. Clemens said at the NAACP meeting that night, because I wasn't in attendance there, if that's true that he said he stand behind his deputy, then he don't need his job. He don't need his job, because you're going to stand behind your wrong deputy, then that makes you wrong from the top. And the wrong come from the top, don't it? Because if the top ain't going to straighten their workers out, you know what I'm saying, then the workers going to do what they want to do, ain't they? So Sheriff Clemens going to sit his butt up there, know that his officer is wrong, and going to sit there and say he's going to stand behind him. Now, y'all got to ask yourself a question. Why are people out here getting hurt by officers? Because they ain't being held accountable. So they go right back out there, break the nation's laws that they supposed to be protecting. So you tell me, no, it's time. What I say, it's time for change. It's time for a change, because out of respect to everybody, Mr. Clemens, if you ain't gonna do your job up there and hold your officers accountable for when they wrong people, what good is you up there being a sheriff if you're not gonna do anything? I mean, I want to know that, because I done came to you personally myself over a lot of issues concerning your deputies. I came to you with a lot, and you sit there, you'll talk to me, but you won't do nothing. That's what I'm like. What's the deal, man? In your mind, everybody criminals, or you just don't care what your officer do to people? I'd like you to reassess that, man. Think about what you're doing to our people out here in Richmond County, because if everybody here in Richmond County talking about you, and talking about how you handling this situation. And you know what I say about it's true because you did it to me. You know, my ex-wife come broke in my house twice. One with the deputies assisted her. The second time they didn't assist her. She came here and broke in it, and I got an eyewitness. So your investigating officer gonna tell me that the DAs are not gonna pursue charges after her after them broken in my house twice, and trespass. So she broke into my house twice, and then trespassed against my premises once. And now, I would try not to question your job, Clemens, because I felt like, hey, maybe this ain't got to your attention, or maybe, I'm making excuses for you. I'm the one that's trying to say, oh, he gonna straighten it out. But this is you ain't straighten nothing out, Clemens. I want to know that. I'm thinking you gonna be about being the sheriff up there. That's what I'm thinking, But when I done went to you several times, you hadn't done anything. Then you sit there and you tell your officer about my daughters that night at the magistrate, arrest them, lock them all up. Because that's what the officer said that you said. Your own officer said that you said, lock my daughters up. And that was on the phone with you. So they didn't lock my daughters up based on the magistrate or based on the sheriff. They rigged those charges up to lock them up because you told them to lock them all up. Now that's something. If you said that also to your deputy, ain't that something to say? And then got my daughters running back and forth to court and put them up under that excessive bond, and got my daughters running back and forth to court to what you said. What you said. Well, let me tell you what I'm gonna say. I'm waiting on the district attorney. I'm waiting on all of them up there to make their moves where they can't go back, where they can't back up. And yes, video will come out. Y'all already know the video there. So that ain't nothing hidden. Y'all already know that whole ordeal that magistrate office was recorded. Y'all already know that. Y'all already know. And that's what I'm gonna say about that. So you're gonna drop the charges because you ain't got no choice. Or charges gonna come back with a choice. How about that one? Your lying magistrate, your lying deputies. I'm calling you a lie because all of you lied on them charges concerning my daughters. And the magistrate made them lies up as well. A magistrate. They're acting more like they're a judge than the doggone judge themselves. And they ain't nothing but a magistrate worker. But believe me, I sit back. When I got stuff I know I got against y'all, I sit back in the cut on it because I know how wicked y'all is up there, and I know the wicked things that y'all do. So that's why I sit back. You ain't gonna get nothing. I'm waiting for y'all. When y'all get through with let's see, one of the deputies, one of the assistant DAs came up in court yesterday on the 16th of December 2019 and asked for a continuance. Yeah, you're gonna keep on continuing. And I'm gonna keep on watching it until it hit the fan. Then I'm gonna wonder what you're gonna do about your deputy. As a matter of fact, them deputies that was there that night arresting my daughters, I want you to fire them. Every one of them, including that black deputy that handled me. Now, my fault. Let me ask y'all a question. My daughter only came there to assist their daddy because that woman, the ex-wife of mine, had took papers out on me. So they hadn't already came to my house, 5 or 6 carloads of them. So, and I got word that they came to my house. So I said, well, I'm going to go turn myself in. My daughter said, not without us. We're going to go down there with you to make sure there's no problem. So I go down there to the sheriff department office. Man, let me tell y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all. State troopers, deputy sheriff, 5, 6, 7 carloads that came up to the magistrate office. You hear me? That's how many showed up there. So I'm like, well, what in the world bringing all this down here? I'm just coming here to turn myself in. Don't need all this for me to turn myself in. So the first thing was this deputy grabbed me. Now, why would I'm going to ask y'all a question. Why would I go turn myself in if I'm going to resist the officer? Ask me that question. That black deputy grabbed me. I don't know who his name was, kind of brown skin, tall, kind of heavy set, like kind of on the heavy side. Like he snatched me by the home and slung me around like Yeah, you resisting what? You know what I'm saying? Dragging me across the thing to the jailhouse. You know, so I said, man, hold up, man. You ain't got to do that, man. I ain't come here. If I come here to turn myself in, I ain't come here to resist you. So why you handling me like that? You know, I told them that. Why you handling me like that? And my daughter followed me out. They watched the whole thing took place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in jail. I wasn't even in jail still down at the entrance where you walk in there and they got the gate up there. You know, you got the other workers that's working behind the county. And here they come bring one of my daughters in there. I'm like, what in the world happened? Oh, my daughter, they arrested us. They just arrested us. They out there to their cars and everything. They going to go out there and arrest them. And then cook up them charges against them, because that's what they did. So, Sheriff Clemens, you stand behind that too, don't you? Well, let me tell you something, Sheriff Clemens. Exposing your deputies is going to expose you and what you about. Because if you care about the citizen of this county, and if you care about the rights of the citizen of this county, you wouldn't allow your deputy to do citizen like that. The first time you done handled that and fired. Because see, that's where the difference come in at, is what you do to your deputies when they wrong. That's where it come in at. That's where the true the leaders of this county is, that when you get a valid complaint against your deputies, then it's time to take action. You haven't took no action from me, and I've been to you 4 or 5 times, and you know that. Now, my daughter's done been to you. Now we got this big thing to blow it up at the Richmond Senior High football game, and you still ain't doing nothing to your deputies. Nothing. You ain't even did nothing to your deputies back in 2012 when your deputy boy broke into my house, because that's breaking and entering. Broke into my house and stayed inside of my house when they asked to leave. And had no warrant, no nothing to allow them to come into my house under no sir. And then end up arresting my whole family, my daughters and my elderly mama. You didn't do nothing about that neither, did you, Clemens? So I got your track record, Clemens. Anything you do to my family and myself, I got your track record, and I'm gonna add it back up to you. You know, you hurt my family, you know, and you don't care. You'll sit there and talk to me like a man now. I'll give you that. You'll shake my hand. You'll talk to me like a man. You know, hey, Mr. Wall, hey, Sheriff Clemens. But when I leave your office, you done said, get out. You done probably said in your mind, forget you, I ain't doing nothing. That's because your action, you know, my thing, actions speak louder than words. You can talk or talk, but action is what speak for you. And the action of that sheriff department since you've been sheriff ain't been good, not with the Wall family. You know, ain't been good. And you know I'm not no criminal. You know, I came back here to put a business here, which I did, and to make a growth here. And the only thing I've been doing is been under scrutiny here since I've been back here. I've been under scrutiny by your sheriff's officers and everything. Now I had 7 calls on my call out to burn up mysteriously. 7 of them. They burnt to the ground. Mysterious fire that can't be explained. Yeah, your sheriff come out there and investigate, but they did anything? I ain't heard nothing from them. But I had 7 calls to burn up on my lot, everybody. So, you know, when stuff start bothering me is, man, look, do your job, man. I mean, if you didn't want to be a sheriff, why be a sheriff? If you're not going to correct your officer and hire the right officers up there that's going to carry out your ideas on how you want to protect and serve the county, if you ain't getting that, you know, your officers not doing that, then the next thing for you to do is do what? Fire them, because you got the authority to fire them, hire them, and everything. You can do anything you want up there. You can do anything you want. If you want to fire that officer, when you first became sheriff, what did you do to all that sweat guy? You fired his butt, didn't you? Soon as you made office, you fired him. So, you know, I said it ain't never too late to do what's right, James Clemens. It's never too late to do what's right. You know, you can always turn it around and change everything, let people start looking at you, hey, now this sheriff is doing what he's supposed to do. He ain't letting his deputy get away with the garbage they going around here, how they treating people. You know? And I said it ain't never too late, Sheriff Clemens. You can turn that thing away. You can turn that thing around and let the citizen of Richmond County know that you are here to protect and serve the community and the respective rights of the whole community, and not to be biased against no one. But you bias against the walls, and now you bias against other people. And I'm speaking for myself. You bias against a lot of you bias against a lot of stuff, and you just don't care. So I'm wondering, if you don't care, then why you being a sheriff of the county? We need a sheriff that care about the citizen of this county. We need a sheriff that exercise the rights of the people of the citizens of this county, and we need a sheriff to protect and serve this county. That's what we need. We pay the tax dollar for that sheriff. Or I pay for some of them cars y'all riding around in. I pay your salary that you get every 2 weeks or either every month, one of them. Yeah, I pays that. I'm a part of that. So, but you're going to treat me like nothing? And you won't take a valid complaint and investigate your own officers? You the first one I provided with a video concerning your officer conduct out here in my house when they broke into my house that time, back in 2012. You the first one I gave the CD to. Here's the DVD of your own officer breaking into my house. But did you do anything about that? Nope. And you told me then, you said, Mr. Wall, I'm going to be honest with you. And I got to give you that honesty. You was honest with me. You said, look, I'm not going to investigate my own deputies. He said, but you told me, said, this is what I will do, though. I would sign this and I turn it over to the district attorney's office. And who was the district attorney? Reese Saunders. And the district attorney office do anything to them officers? I even wrote them. See, that's the reason why, I got hot water toward that district attorney's office, because a whole lot of stuff between me and the district attorney. So, never heard anything about it. So, I'm here. And people hear me. And people always tell me, Mr. Wall, what you doing is good. And them people done told me that I need to run for sheriff. Now, that was a new one to me. Me? Run for sheriff? Woo! We'll see how in the near future how that come out. But anyway, thank y'all. I'll come back to y'all with some more updates about everything. But this is what happened so far. That's a highlight of what went on with me in court yesterday. They dismissed all the contempt charge I had against my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? All the contempt was valid and true against her. That one made it so good. But they undermined me up in that clerk, the one that run around the judge and the one that run judge to judge, which is that tall man. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about, the real tallest guy in the courthouse. Running around now, tells me, time ended.